Good morning. We will start session 2 on chapter Understanding Quadrilaterals. So in our previous class we understood what is a curve, simple closed curve. We understood based on the number of sides how we define a polygon, that is a quadrilateral with a 4 side, triangle with 3 sides, 5 side, pentagon and so on. We also understood the formula how to find number of diagonals in a given quadrilateral. We understood few more facts about concave and convex polygon, regular and irregular polygon. So let's start with the exercise. Given here are the some figures. So from these given figures, we need to classify them on the basis of whether they are simple curve, simple closed curve, polygon, convex polygon and concave polygon. So what I will do here is, I will just draw the figure according to what they have given. So this is the first one. So we'll write here first one. This is the second one. So this is the third one. Now just see, when you are drawing these figures, you realize. First figure I could just draw by a single point without lifting a pen from the paper. Pen, of course, a pen from the board, as well as second one. But what about the third one? Third one, when I was drawing, first I had to draw this, I had to lift my hand, and then I had to draw the second one. So that gives you a hint whether it is a polygon or no. I mean, whether it comes under a curve, simple curve or no. Look at this third one. So it is better you draw it and check so that you have an idea what is actually given. This is fifth one. So this is sixth one, seventh one. This is and last eighth one. Look at eighth one here again. So even if I draw, okay, eighth one, let me just show you. We can draw this without lifting the paper from the pen, right? We could draw eighth one also, or we could not draw. Why? Because this point from here again we have taken here. It depends where are the points given. We felt that eighth one we could draw it without, but see children, now all these things were joining the points. Now here what did we do? We drew it. After that we again took, wherein this is not a center, or if being a center, we again took a same line and again drew it. So do you think it comes under this? Let's check. And this is eighth one. So how you have to answer this? First one, when I talk about, it is a simple curve, right? Okay, so which all will come under a simple curve? First one will come under simple curve. Yes, we just write simple curve and we will write the numbers. Number 1 will come under simple curve. 2 will come. Yes. 3 will come. No. 4. No. 5 will come. Yes. 6 will come. Yes. 7 will come. Yes. Why not 8? My question is, now why not 8? Because if you see the number of points where you are joining or where you are not joining them, that will not come. At a point you need to lift. See, now for example, assume that you start your circle. Now here you have to start from a particular point. Even if I start from here, I can end here. Even if I start from here, I can end here without lifting the pencil from the paper. When in eighth one, it is up to you how you draw. That means I can start from here. If I start from here, I have to end here. To draw this line, I have to again lift my hand, right? There is no other trick. But when others, when we draw, it has to come in the one go only. So eighth one will not come. Next one, simple closed curve. Simple closed curve. So again it's a repetition. See, simple curve, what we learned in the definition, those are closed with number of points, less number of points, whatever. In simple closed curve, again the same thing will repeat. Which are in the curve, it will repeat the same thing. Now, C is polygon. What is a polygon? Polygon is formed by joining line segments only. Which are the figures here? Formed by only joining line segments, straight line, which is only first and second. Rest all are not joined by straight line segments. These are curves that will not come. So polygon is only 1 and 2. So convex polygon and E is concave polygon. Concave polygon. Now, convex polygon is which one here? Convex polygon is a polygon whose diagonals lie in the interior of the given polygon, which is nothing but second one, because we have only two polygons. So convex polygon is second one. What about concave? A concave polygon is a polygon whose at least one diagonal is in the exterior. Can this be? Yes, first one. So this is how you have to describe the first exercise. First one, we need to draw the given figure, write simple curve, write which all figure will come under those. So this is the answer for the first one. Next one, how many diagonals does each of the following have? Now, since it is a quadrilateral, it is easy for us to even say this orally, right? Because we know that a quadrilateral can have only two diagonals. But when it comes to other polygon, how are we supposed to find? So there is a formula. What is that formula? So we first copy the question. Second main. First one is a convex quadrilateral. Okay, I will just write here number of diagonals, or before that n is equal to 4. Let us first mention that. Number of sides in a convex quadrilateral, n is equal to 4. Number of diagonals is equal to n minus 3 divided by 2, right? So what does n stand for? Though we know quadrilateral is 2, we'll just apply the formula and do it. So n is 4, 4 minus 3 divided by 2. So 4 into 1 divided by 2, 2 ones are 2 twos are. So 2 diagonals. A convex quadrilateral can have 2 diagonals. Next, what is for B1? Okay, I'll give you, anyhow only 3 are there. A regular hexagon. A regular hexagon. So n is equal to, first and foremost you need to know the number of sides. So hexagon have 6 sides. Hexagon has 6 sides. Number of diagonals. Hexagon only, right? Okay. Number of diagonals is equal to n of n minus 3 divided by 2. 6 of 6 minus 3 divided by 2. 2 ones are 2 threes are. 6 minus 3 is 3. So 9. And the last one, what is there? What is that they have asked for is, they have asked for triangle. So we know that a triangle cannot have any diagonals, but still n is equal to 3. Number of diagonals. Children, these number of diagonals are usually asked for 1 mark question or MCQs. So in MCQs, if it is asked, you can have a direct answer. n minus 3 divided by 2. So 3 of 3 minus 3 divided by 2. 3 minus 3 is 0. So a triangle can have 0 diagonals. Yes? So that is the answer. Next question. What is the sum? Yeah, I'll be dictating the sum orally, so please make a note of it. What is the sum of the measures of angle of a convex quadrilateral? So what is the sum of the measure of angles of a convex quadrilateral? See, convex quadrilateral is this, right? So they are asking what is the sum of the measure of all the angles of a convex quadrilateral. What will you write? Answer is 360 degree. How will you write it? The sum of the measure of all the angles of a convex quadrilateral is 360 degree. Completed. Second question. Will this property hold if quadrilateral is not convex? Will this property hold if quadrilateral is not convex? Now, yes. This property will hold if the quadrilateral is not convex also. Why? Angle sum property remains the same whether it is a convex or concave. So what you have to write here? Yes, this property will hold even if the quadrilateral is not convex because sum of the angles of the quadrilateral is 360 degrees. Okay, I'll repeat the answer from the beginning. The sum of the measures of the angles of a convex quadrilateral is 360 degrees. Full stop. Yes. You have to write yes. This property holds even if the quadrilateral is not convex. The angles of the convex quadrilateral, if not convex, the angles of a concave quadrilateral are also 360 degrees. Anything angle sum property, children, will remain the same. So it is 360 degrees. It's again a 1 mark MCQ type of a question. So I hope you will complete that by just saying yes, sum of the angles is 360. Even if the quadrilateral is not convex, then also angles of a quadrilateral are 360 only. So quickly we move to the next one. Examine the table. Each figure is divided into triangles and sum of the angles deduced from that. So sides are 3, sides are 4, 5 and 6. Angle sum. Now what property they have tried to explain here. Yesterday we have already written that as sum of all interior angles of a polygon. Now what do they want to tell here is, let us imagine angle sum property with respect to triangle. For example, now angle sum property of a triangle is what? 180. We all know that. If I choose a quadrilateral, I can divide a quadrilateral in terms of 2 triangles. So this is going to be 2 into 180. Right? So because 180 twice you have to do. If I am choosing a pentagon, how many triangles you can see in a pentagon? You can see 3 triangles. That means angle sum property is 180 plus 180 plus 180. 3 into 180. Right? What about a hexagon? How many triangles you can divide? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 into 180. But here, tomorrow if you have a heptagon, hexagon, nonagon, you can't sit and divide the number of triangles and do that, right? Instead, what we do? We directly apply the formula. What is that formula? N minus 2 into 180 will give us angle sum property. Interior angles of a given polygon is the simple formula what we use to find all the interior angles. So that is what we use it. Because if it is given as decagon which has 10 sides. Now will you sit and draw those many triangles which can fit into decagon? What if you miss 1 or 2 triangles? You go wrong there. Instead if I use this formula n minus 2 into 180, it's much simple. So what we will do here is, you can see, read this question, that's all. But you need not copy this question as it is. Rather what you can do is, so when you go to the next page, what have they given? The question says, what can you say about the angle sum property of a convex polygon with number of sides? So that is your question. Question number 4 is written as, what can you say about the angle sum property of a sum, and what can you say about the angle sum of a convex polygon with number of sides? Let's start. First one, we will directly take that as n is equal to 7. So what should I write? Sum of all interior angles is equal to n minus 2 into 180. So n is here 7. 7 minus 2 into 180. 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 into 180. Now children, whenever there comes a bigger number in multiplication, there are chances of going wrong. One simple trick what you can use here for multiplication is 10 tables and 100 tables. Whatever is the number of zeros, those are very easy. So when I talk about 180, let me choose that in terms of 100. 100 5 is 500. Okay, what remained next? 80 remained. 85 8 5 is 40. So 500 plus 400, 900. Easily, orally we can calculate this. You got my point? I just multiplied 100 into 5, 500. Keep that in your mind. 500 you have. Then later what we do? 80 is there. 85 is 400. 500 plus 400 we got 900. 900 what? Degrees. Okay. Yes children. So fourth way, B and C, that is n is equal to 8 and n is equal to 10, I have marked for homework. So this is how you do. You can also calculate simple. 18 5 is what? 90. Add 1 0, 900. So it can be made in your own convenient method so that you can calculate it quickly. The next one, okay, last we have it as B1, that is n signs, where n is n only. So how do you write this now? Sum of all interior angles is equal to n minus 2, where n is n only, of 180. That's all is your answer. Okay. We'll quickly move to the next one. Fifth one. What is a regular polygon? Now they have asked a definition for a regular polygon. You all know, we have written this in our yesterday's session. What is a regular polygon? A polygon which has equal sides and equal angles. Or I will write here a polygon which is equilateral. Equilateral means which has all the sides equal, and equiangular. A polygon which is equilateral and equiangular, that is a polygon which has all the sides equal and all the angles equal, is called a regular polygon. Okay, what have they asked here? Name the regular polygon of. I'll dictate this children, you can write 3 sides. Name a regular polygon of 3 sides. What is it? A triangle? Yes. But if you write a triangle, you get 0 for that because they have asked us a regular one. So regular triangle is always equilateral triangle. 3 sides, you can just write like this. 3 sides, after copying the question, put a hyphen. Equilateral triangle. Okay. 4 sides, it's always a square because square is the only quadrilateral which has all the sides equal and all the angles equal to 90 degree. 6 sides, it is a regular hexagon because hexagon is only one. So we, like in quadrilateral we have like square, rectangle, rhombus, parallelogram, trapezium, kite, but in that regular is only square. 6 sides is regular hexagon. That regular word should come. If I ask you what is a polygon, regular polygon, name the regular polygon of 10 sides. Answer will be regular decagon. A regular polygon of 8 sides, regular octagon. That is how you have to write by just adding a prefix regular and then the name of the polygon. Right? With that we complete the first basic simple name which were given. The next is a very important one. Find the measure of angle x in the following. So here we will make use of actual angle sum property based on the given type of polygon. So that we need to be very careful whether it is a quadrilateral, triangle or pentagon, hexagon depending on the given figure. First one. Now, as I have told you, geometric figure, when it comes in solving such type of sums, your figure should always be there on your right hand side. Left hand side, you have to start solving the sum. So please follow this. A figure should be very neatly drawn. 130, 120, x and 50. Now children, one important thing what I would like to tell you is, in question paper the question comes like, find the measure of angle x in the given figure. This figure is given in your question paper. Even though the figure is given in your question paper, you have to draw that in your answer sheet, in your book or wherever you are writing. Always remember, geometry we derive or we write or solve only with respect to figure what we have drawn on our right hand side in our answer sheet. Keep that in your mind. So let us name this if you want, ABCD. Okay. So according to us, ABCD is a quadrilateral solution. In quadrilateral, ABCD. So can I say angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D is equal to 360 degree. Reason, angle sum property. ASP I will write. Write the measure of angle A. 130 plus angle B is 120 plus angle C is x degree plus D is 50 is equal to 360 degree, right? So we can add this. So it is 200, 230, 250, 250 plus 50 is 300. So 300 degree plus x degree is equal to 360. X is equal to 360 minus 300. Therefore, x is equal to 60 degree. Right? So that is how we solve it. Understood how to do this? Yes. We'll quickly start with the next one. So this is your A. So we'll start with B now. Look at the figure, how it is given. Always this symbol what it is given, this is something known as perpendicular, which is nothing but understood that as 90 degree. So one angle is 90 degree here. This is x what we have to find, and this is 70 degree and this is 60 degree. Okay. Let me name this as A, B, C and D. This is also a quadrilateral. But now before we proceed that, I am aware of only two angles where one angle is unknown and the fourth angle is not given to us. Now to find the fourth angle, we can use a linear property kind wherein with the help of this we can find. Now in your schools usually what I have seen they do is, they actually, how is this written? This is written as angle A plus 90 degree is equal to 180. Or you can write this as angle DAB plus 90 is equal to 180. What is this? Linear pair. What do you mean by a linear pair? When a ray stands on a straight line, sum of the adjacent angle formed is supplementary. When a ray stands on a straight line, so these are the adjacent angles formed. So when you measure these adjacent angles, you get that as 180 degree. That is a linear pair property. So in schools what they do, what I have seen is, they do not write it as linear pair, but instead they will choose this angle as, while writing 180 minus 90 they write. You can also use the same thing what I am going to do here, right? So we will do here, what we will do here is, we will first find that angle A and then we will proceed it. So angle A is equal to 180 minus 90. So angle A is equal to 90. Okay. Now it's a quadrilateral. In quadrilateral, A, B, C, D. So I can say angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D is equal to 360 degree. Angle sum property, angle A is 90 plus angle B is 60 plus 70 plus D is equal to 360. 90 plus 60, 150. 150 plus 70 will give you 220. 220 plus D is equal to 360. I'll do this side, children, because down if I write you cannot see them again. So angle D is equal to 360 minus 220. Subtract it. Angle D is equal to, so 0, 4, 1. 140 degree. Okay, so that is how you calculate these angles. What actually in school or what they do, you know, here I'll just show you that also. Angle A 90 I got by this. What will they do here is, they will write this angle A as, I'll show you. This A will be written as 180 minus 90. 180 minus 90 plus 60 plus 70 plus B is equal to. Understood what they do? They will not show this as linear property. That's okay. It's up to you. You can also show this and then write this or there and there. But if you are writing here A plus 90 is equal to 180 and don't give reason, what I prefer is this 90 is wrong according to me. Why? How did you subtract? How did you add these two and tell that they are 180 without writing a property? Geometry, when you write something without property, it does not hold good. If you say that angle A plus B plus C plus D is 360 and you have written everything, answer is right, but you have forgotten to write the angle sum property, I'll deduct half mark. Why? Because how do you say that it is 360? On what basis? A proof should always be written when you write geometry sums or when you try to prove any geometrical things. A proof is must and should. That you have to remember. So quickly we'll go to the next way. Next way, look at the figure. Whether it is a quadrilateral, no. Then it is a five-sided figure. That means it is a pentagon. So what will be angle sum property here? If you know that it is 540, you can go with it. Otherwise, n minus 2 into 180 has to be done always. Let's go for the third one. Let us first have the figure here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We will name this A, B, C, D and E. Wherein they have given angle E is equal to angle X. Both are equal angles. This angle is given as 70 and this angle is given as 60. Where this is 30. Again here children, we can directly say in pentagon A, B, C, D, E, angle A plus B plus C plus D plus E is equal to not 360, n minus 2 into 180. We need to find that. Then this angle we don't know, right? We can write this as 180 minus 70 and this angle can be written as 180 minus 60. So we can also do that, or also we can do that as a linear pair and finish it. Let us do, now what we will do in this sum, we will do in the another way. So you should know even that method, it can be proved. In pentagon, A, B, C, D, E, angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D plus angle E is equal to n minus 2 into 180. That is nothing but angle sum property. We try to prove that here. Angle A is written as 180 minus 70. Write it here. Angle B is written as 180 minus 60. Please mention it, linear property or linear pair property you can write. Use pencils to do this because I can't write there. I should know for what I have taken that 180, not for the whole, only for these two it is. Angle C is what? X plus 30 plus x. I'll write here children is equal to n is what? 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. 180 into 3. So I get 540 degree. Okay. So next part we will do 180 minus 70 is 110. 180 minus 60 is 120. Plus x and x 2x plus 30 is equal to 540. So pentagon 5 sides what we have written. Next let us add this to 100, 200, 220, 230. 230 plus 30 is 260 plus 2x is equal to 540. 2x is equal to 540 minus 260. 2x is equal to 0, 8, 280. So x is equal to 280 divided by 2. X is equal to 2 ones are 2 fours are 0. That is what they have asked us to find. Find the value of x, and that is 140 degree. Okay, last one. I think it's a very small. I have some space. I do it here only. D1. It is which figure? If you can see this, it is a regular pentagon, right? How did I come to know it is a regular pentagon? They have shown that all the sides are equal. So this, all angles are equal to x. So A, B, C, D, E. What will I write? In a regular pentagon, what is that pentagon? A, B, C, D, E. Angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D plus angle E is equal to, we already know it is 540. Shall I write 540? Okay. But if I have written 540, please write the reason. Angle sum property. Even here children, where it is here, I need to write the reason here as angle sum property. I have forgotten because I just told you some time back. So all are x, right? So 5 times of x is equal to 540. Shall I write? Because all angles are equal to x. X is equal to 540 divided by 5. X is equal to 5 ones are 5. Directly you can't divide 40. You have to take 1 0. 5 8s are 40. X is equal to 108 degree. So we are left with only 2 sums. Okay. 7th in A1, they have asked us to find, after we find what is x, what is y and what is z, we need to find the sum of x plus y plus z. So in triangle ABC, now we know only 2 angles. First let us find the third angle of a triangle here. Later how do you find x, y, z? We will do that by linear pair. So let's find the third angle. I will simply write here as angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to 180. Reason, angle sum property. So angle A is 90, angle B is 30 and angle C is equal to 180. Angle C is equal to 180 minus 120. 90 plus 30 is 120. So angle C is equal to 180 minus 120 is 60 degree. I found that angle C is 60. Okay. Now let's find out the remaining angles by angle sum property. Angle, I'll start with A. Angle A plus x is equal to 180. We know that, we'll write here. Linear pair. Okay, what is angle A? 90 plus x degree is equal to 180. Angle x is equal to 180 minus 90. Angle x is equal to 90. Similarly, we can find for Z and Y also. Next we'll take with B. Angle B plus Z is equal to 180. Again, linear pair. So angle B is how much? 30 degree plus Z is equal to 180 degree. So angle Z is equal to 180 minus 30. Z is equal to, no sorry, degree will not come for X children. Angle it is. So Z is equal to 150 degree. And the last one. Angle C plus Y is equal to 180. So angle C is 60 degree plus Y is equal to 180. Angle Y is equal to 180 minus 60. Angle Y is equal to 120 degree. Okay. We have got angle X, angle Y and angle Z. What have they asked? The final thing, X plus Y plus Z is equal to, so X is 90 plus Y, that is 120 plus Z, that I'm sorry, X plus Y plus, where is Z? Yeah, Z is 150. How much do you get when you add this? You get 360. You have to get 360. Why, tell me? Because these are exterior angles of a given polygon, right? These are exterior angles of a triangle. What is sum of exterior angles of a triangle? Which is nothing but 360. You have to get answer as 360. That means, what should be the answer for the next one? Next one answer should also be 360 only, because it is sum of exterior angles of a given quadrilateral. Exterior also, okay? So this is how you prove it. Now I will give B part as homework to you, and I'll tell you also how to solve about it. So 7th main B part is homework. In a quadrilateral, 3 angles are given. How do you find 4th angle? Angle 60 plus 80 plus 120 plus angle ABCD you can mark is equal to 360. Angle sum property. Find that angle. Okay. After you find that angle, take linear pair for all the 4 parts and find it the similar way where you can do it. So I have given 4th main 2 sums as homework, and 7th main I have given you 1 sum as homework. Very simple one which you can do it. Complete that. We will end with today's session with this exercise, and in tomorrow's session we'll start with the next exercise. So if you have any doubt in today's session, you can call on the same day of the video set.